It is craft time with the Global Arts Position. I hope everyone's doing well today, and I have a fun craft for you. It is called a God's Eye. I don't know if you've ever made these before, but it is called a God's Eye. And first of all, you will need 2 sticks or 2 tongue depressors, which is what I'm using here. I use the thin ones, they're a little bit easier, but you can use sticks from outside. You can just grab 2 sticks that are similar in size and use them. And you're also going to need yarn. So I have pink and orange. And what you're going to do first is you're going to hold your sticks so it looks like a plus sign. For those of you that are younger, you might want to glue these together and let it dry. It will make it easier for you to hold on to it because it will make them a little more secure. But I am going to hold the end of my yarn right to the middle of my cross here, and I'm going to start to wrap. And you're wrapping, just trying to make it nice and secure. So you just wrap a few times, a few different directions. And so now mine is nice and secure. I can hold it at the bottom and it stays in its shape. Now, you look at it and you try to decide which you want to be the front and back. And I think I'm going to make this the front because on the back of this, on the other side, is the tail I was holding on to. See the little tail sticking up here? And I don't want that to maybe stick out and mess up the front of my God's Eye. And so what you're going to do with your God's Eye, and hopefully you can see me okay here, is I am going to wrap my yarn around one stick, and then I'm going to go over to the next one, and I'm going to wrap it under, and I'm going to go over to the next stick, under, and go over to the next stick, under, and then over to the next, under, over to the next, over to the next, under, okay, over to the next, and under, over to the next, and under. Oops, my yarn is getting in the way. So you're going over and under it, around the back, and over to the next stick, around the back, and over to the next stick, around the back, and over to the next stick, around the back, and over to the next stick, around the back, and over to the next stick, around the back, over to the next stick, around the back, over to the next stick. Now the thing is, you're trying to remember always that when you lay your yarn down when you're crossing over, you lay it next to the yarn you already have on here. You don't cross over the top because you'll ruin your pattern. You lay it next to it, come around the back, still always laying it next to it. And then you're crossing over your new one. You lay it next to the yarn you already have there and around. Lay it over and next to that yarn, around, over and next to the yarn. And so you continually are just wrapping like this. And then really the more you get, the easier it gets because you can kind of see the pattern that's going on and the pattern that you're trying to follow. I'm going to hold it up close to you. See the pattern on here that it's developing? I don't know if you can see that all right. It's kind of hard with this color. For some reason, this color always catches the light funny. And this would be the back. So this is the front. And this is the back. Okay, so I'm going to change colors because it always, for some reason, makes it easier to see. And the orange is just really nice. Okay, so now the trick to this, though, is you don't want your knot to be in the front. you want your knot to be in the back. So I need my knot, if I'm going over and around the back, I need my knot to be about right here. Okay, so I'm going to hold on to this. I'm going to take my orange yarn and I'm going to tie a knot in them. I will hold this up in a minute. Hopefully you can figure out what I've done. And I'm doing a very, very loose knot. Okay, I have a very loose knot here. Should probably, let me cut the tail off. So, okay, so I have a very loose knot here. And let's see, if I go over this, oh, see, it's coming out right on the top. So I need a little closer. I cut that edge off again. Let's try this again. And this is really the tricky part, is when you're changing colors. I don't know if there's an easier way to do this. Okay, this ought to work. Okay, so you kind of measure it, and I know that if I go around right here, I'm going to have the knot at the back, which is exactly where I want it to be. So I'm going to come around the bottom of here, and I'm going to go over this, and I have these two tails here that I want to just kind of hold down to make sure they don't get in the way, and I want to cover them up. But now I'm coming up and around and over the next one with my orange. Around it, up over the top, under, up over the top, and remember, we're always laying it next to. And keep those tails tucked down. We don't want those getting in and ruining the pattern that we're making of our God's eye. So I don't know if this helps you see it any better. So I'm going over the top and around, over the top and around, over the top and around, always keeping my yarn next to the yarn before, not laying it over the top of it. Here we go, over and around, over and around. And so we just keep wrapping like this. We keep wrapping, so I'm going to drop it back down here and continue to wrap. It's a little easier and faster to do if you're just laying it flat. Like I said, this is a very quick craft to make. And it looks kind of fancy in the end. Oops, that tail is in the way. Cut those off in a minute. I'll show you what we're doing with those because we have to get them out of the way. So I'm going to just do a couple more wraps here. A couple more wraps. Wrapping it around. I think I went up and over too far. Okay, and I'm going to end it right here. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to cut a pretty long tail here. Now what I'm doing is I'm going to wrap this around one whole time, and then I'm going to make a little loop that it's going to go through. So it really gets wrapped around twice, but the second time around it's put through a loop, and we're going to pull, and then I'm going to do the same thing again because I want it to be nice and secure so it does not fall off. Okay, we want to have a nice secure knot. And I'm going to cut this little tail off here because of course we don't really want that there. Okay, so here is my God's eye all complete. Okay, so this is what it would look like. This is what it should look like on the back. This is what it looks like on the front. Okay, and you can change the colors and keep going back and forth and back and forth. You can do just about anything you want. I have another one here, the one I showed you before, a purple and blue one where I switched the colors. I started off with the purple, the pinkish purple color, then I went to blue, and then I went back to that pinkish purple. So they're really kind of neat looking. And you can make them as big as you want. You can make them as colorful as you want and as detailed as you want. And the fun thing about these is they are very inexpensive to make. They're fun to make. They look great in the window. And they would be a great gift to make for your neighbors in your neighborhood as they're sheltering at home and staying safe. That this would be something that might cheer up their day. And so they're really fun to make. So I hope you enjoyed making God's Eye with the God's Eye craft with me. And I hope that I showed it to you well enough. It's hard when it's on video, but I hope I showed it to you well enough that you're able to make these at home. If you have problems making them, or if you make them and you want to show me what you've made, I encourage you to go on Facebook to the Global Arts Position, and you can either ask me questions there, or you can actually take pictures and send me your finished product. I would love to see them. And so I hope you enjoyed making God's Eye today, and it was a fun craft, but just enjoy your day and enjoy making these and bless other people with them. Bye.